what we got here this Thursday evening, we got a couple things going on here. Tonight, me and Arknolia are going to be doing a show dedicated to the big band swing era of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. We're going to be digging deep into that. Now, I've also been invited to come on Real Fuck TV with Minnesota Vikings fan and a Minnesota Silver Bro. Now, I already spoke to Arknola about this. He has no problem with it at all. In fact, he's kind of like running a little bit late here. He has to take care of a couple things. He called me not too long ago. So, right away, I'm going to jump on board with Minnesota Vikings fan and join those guys and see how things are going with them and let them know the whole deal because I already messaged them about simulcasting with Arknolia, and then it'll be good to have those two meet, say hi to one another there. So here it goes. Okay, I'm gonna be calling those dudes right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real as Fuck TV, the one and only Dr. Earl Brown.
Hey, what's going on? You got my little message here? I gave you a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
going to be,
you're
yeah, a friend of mine named Arknolia Strokelbean. We've been doing a couple of shows on my channel. We're going to be doing one right now. We're going to be taking a look at the big band era from the 1930s, 20s, and 40s. There, you know. I know this is kind of a little bit, yeah, it's going to be kind of different than what you guys usually talking about, but it is interesting there because we're going to be digging deep mostly into my dad's old collection, like Count Basie, Glenn Miller, Duke Ellington, all the greats from yesteryear from that period, the Kirby Stone Four, Ella Fitzgerald, Judy Garland.
Hell.
When you plan on starting that up?
Right now, especially wants to actually I'm doing this, I'm streaming right now. I figure we start the show right now a little bit early with you guys, and then Arknolia is going to be coming on about 6 more minutes because he has to take care of some things right away there. So I'm going to be calling him about 6:30 in a few there. So it's kind of awkward, I know, for you guys, you know. And probably tonight we'll probably be recording something else to upload on my channel later on. Probably talking about I forgot what it was. I think about TV or something like that. I know we already did a TV special on Doctor Who last night, so I have to get in touch with him. What we'll be doing possibly as soon after this broadcast because.
Well, you know what we could do is once you get Strokelbean on.
Yeah.
We could let you guys go, and then we could do some of the shit that we want to do,
right.
And then we could come back in.
All right.
You know what I mean? What do you think, Silver?
Yeah, I mean when they're talking about their, the 40s bands and stuff.
Yeah, because we got a few things that we want to discuss this week too that we had planned. So
all right,
we'll get our shit done, and then we'll join back in with you once Strokelbean comes in here.
Okay. Well, after or Skype us, let us know when you guys want us to come back on or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I was originally gonna have you guys, all of us, together on the same show here, but if you want to do it that way, that's fine.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to come up with something quick on the fly that will probably work.
I know.
It'll be like a joint stream, then we'll split up for a little bit, and then we'll come back.
All right. Okay, there. Sounds pretty good there.
I'm calling Dave Rose right now. He wants to come on. So.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real as Fuck TV, the one and only devious Dave Rose.
Ooh, am I out of breath? I've been chasing the cloud all day. I found a clout stop here that I can recharge on the clout that I need for my daily clout chasing needs.
Yeah, congratulations on your show last night. It went pretty well, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I saw you guys both in there, and I was actually just watching that. I was just about to hit the 50-minute mark in the total of 3.5 hours worth.
Wow.
And, I've done shows alone for that duration, but, again, I am as wise as I am forgiving, and I provided the opportunity for even Bullfrog himself to call in and voice his little peanut-sized mind.
All right. So what do you have to say?
Go ahead, Brown.
So what did he have to say?
Oh, you didn't watch the show?
No, I
Oh
didn't.
my
I was just hearing about this a moment ago. Minnesota was telling about it. It seems that you roasted the shit out of the guy.
It wasn't more of a roast as it was a response, an even-handed, appropriate response to what he had requested, put me up to, and essentially dared and coaxed me to do.
He challenged Dave Rose.
He instigated a situation. He alone is the one that instigated a situation.
As always.
And then thus provided an opportunity for me to rightfully respond in kind. And in fact, again, I go into great detail on this. I see that you're streaming right now. Is this on your show?
Yes, it's on my show. Yes.
Did you even want this on your show?
Yeah, well, I figure we pass the time until Arknolia comes on because he's a little bit late. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
and Minnesota and
drama. So I know that you don't like to talk about drama.
I don't mind a little bit of drama as long as it's...
Okay, listen to this. This is how it starts.
Yes.
So Bullfrog messages me. He's doing a stream. He's like, "Do you want to come on?" I'm like, "I'm not going on until you finally get OBS working because I'm tired of getting talked over." And he's like, "I don't talk over anyone." And I go on and explain that yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Because of his stupid setup and again, he doesn't want to pay $50 to me. That's fine, but he can easily either follow the tutorials or he can do the dumb idea he had is hire somebody from Geek Squad to fucking show him. But okay, fine. The thing is, though, he gets offended at the fact that I told him no. Little fat baby Huey, doesn't like that he was told no. So then comes the anticipated Doctor Who episode. Yep. And both of you guys were asking me to be on, had hoped me to be on, and said you would appreciate if that was the case. So I made the time to be around and be able to stick it to the end and really go into detail on a topic that I like and that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, and it's very appreciated.
Okay. Oh well, here's the thing. I'm building up to the first scene, the climax of the first scene. Okay, because this is a Shakespearean tale, as both of these gentlemen here will tell you. So then I'm on your show, and I have to respond. I have to sort of respond in text to this and not break, the show flow and stuff while you guys are talking. So what does Bullfrog say? He can't even write this right, so I'll tell you what he meant to say because his writing's atrocious. But Dr. Earl's channel is a dead. Dr. Earl has a dead channel. You're wasting your time, and it's a joke, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yes. In fact, you know what? You deserve the full text, because it's only fair that, and I did read it on the show, but since you're here and you haven't seen the show, it is 3.5 hours of awesomeness that many, many people seem to have enjoyed. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go back to the... Hold on. Oh, fucking Skype scrolls up too quick sometimes. Okay, so I'll ignore all the insults about how he doesn't want to pay and that he thinks that Geek Squad's better. You can, I guess, answer that if you...
I will. Okay, now hold on a second there. Hey, Arknolia? Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Hey, hold on a second. Let me... I'm going to add you to the call with Dave Rose, Minnesota Vikings fan, okay? Give me a couple of seconds there.
Okay, and so going on?
Oh, well, they asked me to come on their show to give an update of what's going on there. So we're going to, I'll be adding you to the call there, okay? So it'll be interesting to talk about. Then I guess they'll leave us alone to do our stuff there. So...
A lot of shit going on.
You can always edit this. You can always edit this stuff out after you're done the video. But
all right, then.
Okay.
All right.
Let me know when you're ready for me to start giving you the juice.
Yeah, he's on there. Let me add you. I'll add you there. Hold on.
All right, let's go. Come on.
Okay, let's do this. Okay. So, I'll call you right back.
Dave, come on.
Yeah, Dave. Shit. Yeah, one of these days, me and Vikings will probably pay you to get a logo made up or something. I mean, we just have to figure what we want.
Come on, dude.
Well, that's always appreciated in a customer. That's when the customer is right. When they think ahead and say, maybe I should come with an idea before I approach someone and say, read my mind and create what I don't even know I want. So,
Right.
I've encountered that so often. And with Bullfrog, for example, he's like, I want help with my graphics. And I broke it down on a show the other day where he actually meant he wanted 3 different things: help with OBS, custom graphics, like where you've got the cutout windows so that you could put your stream video in there and then have little ones for like everyone else in the call, blah, blah, blah. And then just the ability to import photos that you find on, say, wallpaper websites just for backgrounds or something. So 3 different things, but he called it, I want help with graphics. So again, dealing with these very low level IQ individuals in a professional sense is obviously a challenge, because they're expecting you to be competitive in their pricing, but they don't come to the table with any sort of knowledge, I guess, of what they want.
Yep.
Yeah, that does help. You need to have an idea.
Yeah,
that's true.
Dave,
Yeah.
Did you notice that we changed the resolution on our video stuff?
I did not. Ooh.
We
I'm
got
going to
both-
look at that
we
in a
got
second.
both screens,
Dr.
brother.
Earl. Oh, I do
Yes.
see it now. No,
Yeah.
actually, no, that's Dr. Earl's video.
Yeah.
But Dr. Earl, I thought you were going to tell me when you finally were ready to hear what I had to say.
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm ready right now.
Okay,
All right.
because I closed that window waiting for you to give
All
me
right.
a heads. But okay,
Okay.
so here we go. I'll make it as quick as possible.
Okay. Then.
So, okay, so I get a message while we're doing the show. He's like, "What the fuck, Dr. Earl's show? Whatever, Dave. Stupid emoji faces. My shows ain't good enough for you anymore." And I already explained about the
oh my gosh.
the OBS. So I reply with nope. Now here is where he starts to get triggered, more so. But you can really see that chin extend like the bullfrog.
The
He
chin
says-
grow out.
Now, I'll tell you, obviously, I told you what he meant to say. This is what he literally said. Dr. Show is dying channel.
Dr. Show. Who's Dr. fucking Show?
Maybe that's your new name from now
Oh
on,
my
Dr. Show.
god.
Okay,
Yeah, coming.
so, but we know what he meant. So
I know,
now I
yes.
say, and then now I say, not with me. I can bring all my viewers there. And he's like, I had 20 without you earlier. That's some funny shit. And I say, but I stopped streaming. If I start streaming again, I will have the major following that used to watch me. And he's like, yeah, but you won't. And I'm like, are you daring me? Like, you want to bet? And he's like, fucking Skype. Just fucking scroll. Okay. Yes, I'm daring you. Don't make me have a stroke. Me and Keith bring in at 15 on a daily basis. So ha. And plus Ken is going live with at 9:30. So I don't think you're going to be doing a show tonight, buddy. Ha. Stupid emojis. If you got OBS running now, this was a message that came later, but he kept pestering me. So if you got OBS running now, I dare you to go live now. Show me your power, Dave. Another bunch of stupid emojis. And then he sends another message. He's like, waiting.
Oh my gosh.
And it goes on for a bit and stuff. That's basically what precipitated this. And once he hit hard at you, stupidly, it was clear that I had to respond. Many people have shown their support for me, although some, like YR, for some reason think I'm bullying and think
Well,
that
YR's
what
a
I-
queef, you don't know that.
inappropriate. But again, I streamed for 3.5 hours, invited even Bullfrog on after and a bunch of other people, and they said their truth about Bullfrog, and he was apparently messaging other people saying, come on, help me out, call in. These people are bullying me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It always turns back to the bullying. Huh,
I got a lot more support than I expected, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad
Oh
you
my
got a lot of
gosh.
support.
A lot of people said it was long
Oh
overdue.
my
So.
gosh. Oh my gosh. And he says if my channel is dying, how come I have about 314 subscribers and Bullfrog only has about, was it 175?
I don't know. I don't worry about such small details.
I'm not worried about that, but it's just awkwardly dumb for him to say that. Come on, man.
Especially a guy who has 100 plus less subs than you do, Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
more chins than Tommy.
More chins than
More
Tommy.
chins than the Yellow Pages.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah,
All right.
I would encourage you if you've got 3.5 hours to put it on and just listen to.
I will definitely. I gotta check this out. I got to check this out though. So Arknolia, have you met Minnesota Vikings fan and his cousin Minnesota Silvero there?
No, I don't believe I've ever met either one of them.
No, I could often. I often appear on their show a lot of times. Every Thursday, I'm part of their co-host team there, along with a dude named Redneck and another guy whose name is Special Ed there. And yeah, I know.
Dave liked that name.
Yeah.
We got actually news on Special Ed. Man.
Yeah. How is he doing? What's going on?
His brother,
Big D. Yes.
You guys all know Big D, right?
Yes, we do. Yes.
We just found out today that we had a stroke. He had a stroke.
Wow.
Silvero talked to him.
Yeah, I talked to him, and I guess he has a droop down and on his face, and
Shit.
he talks like he has his tongue hanging out of his mouth, you know?
Wow. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Pretty fucking bad, man.
Well, man, sorry to hear that, man. Hope you're doing well, Big D. Hope everything is well.
Fuck, man.
Oh, wow.
We thought he was dead, honestly.
Yeah, because we haven't heard from him for a few months.
Man.
And we couldn't get a hold of him on his phone. It just rolled over to the answering machine.
Yeah.
And that's not like him. And we knew something was wrong. And I thought he was dead. I mean, fuck, man. I'm glad that he's not dead, but
Thank goodness, yeah.
But he's got. It sounds like he has permanent damage from the stroke, huh?
Oh, man, yeah, that will do it to you.
Yeah, he's going through speech therapy in the hospital right now.
Oh, my gosh.
Fuck, man.
Wow.
What a time.
Everybody send support to Big D, everybody here.
Fuck yeah, man.
Everybody
it's
watch
sad.
it. Yeah.
It's fucking sad, man.
I know.
Oh, hopefully, with speech therapy, he can come back, Hopefully,
Right.
But yeah, it sounds like he'll probably never be the same again, huh, Silverall?
Yeah, I mean, he might get a little better, his speech, but I don't think he'll be how he used to be.
Yeah.
Man, sucks.
I know. It is sad there. Like I said, all support and prayers to Big D there.
Hell yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Appreciate that, bro.
All right. So, Arknolia, did you want to do our show? Shall we continue with our discussion here?
We can do that. Actually, it's looking like we don't have enough time to go over everything because this is a big bunch of stuff here.
All right.
But if it does, well, we'll do it again Tuesday.
Okay.
Are the other two guys, the Minnesota Vikings and I forgot the other name. Then are you guys familiar with what we're trying to do?
Well, we're gonna probably split off now because we're streaming right now too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let you guys do your thing and we're gonna do our thing and then we'll come back later probably.
All right,
and let you guys talk about the stuff you guys really know a lot about. I
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about the 40s. I know like 50s, 60s through whatever, but
well, we'll get there.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. All right.
All
Okay,
right.
there. All right, there.
Okay, it's good to meet you two.
Yeah,
All right,
nice
yeah,
meeting you too, sir.
Later.
All right, you too. I know.
All right.
Definitely I'll contact those guys later on. Cool bunch of guys. I do a lot of shows with them, a lot of stuff on each other's channels there. Yeah, so I got everything set up. Yeah, they'd asked me to call in for a while, hang out for a while on their channel, on their show, so up until you were ready there. So I had to hear the big news about the bull idiot over there. Like, oh my God.
Well, like I said, I'm trying to kind of stay out of that stuff.
I know,
but,
yeah, but
I can relate.
we got, dude. Oh God, that is an absolute trip. I know.
Well, I'm glad you titled it Big Band Era.
Yes.
Because actually that includes the teens, 20s, and 30s.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Yeah,
and it's in the description as well, as you can see.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that worked out real well.
Yeah, because
But
this was the rock and roll at that premium time there. The guy on the thumbnail, his name was Bert Ambrose. I just heard about him a while ago. I guess he's a UK band leader, from what I understand. That was also big in England as well. Of course, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Glenn Miller, his classic "In the Moods," still an
uh,
all-time classic today. You play that song nowadays, yeah, all the people in their
everybody knows
70s
who it
and
is.
80s. Yes, exactly. Cab Calloway with his classic Minnie the Moocher. Uh, it was the 20s were considered a great time around that period. 1930s was kind of like so and so until the Great Depression hit. And then, of course, the 1940s with the World War II going on. And then everything like Kirby Stone Ford, a couple other crooners out there, Frank Sinatra when he was still young.
Right.
And of course, we cannot forget Sammy Davis Jr., the Rat Pack, Dean Martin, all those greats. And tonight we're going to be taking a look at this era here because a friend of mine now on Facebook here who's about 18 years old, he's been getting into this stuff a lot as of late. Like he's also been dressing a lot as well. He's been into blues artists like Charlie Patton, Son House, of course Robert Johnson. He's been also getting into Hank Williams Sr. there, here and there, Johnny Cash as well, the old Johnny Cash when he
Right.
was in his prime there. And it was a great period. Now, what I just downloaded an album called by the Kirby Stone 4 titled Baubles, Bangles, and Beads. It was
Right.
from my dad's collection there. And described that album was basically had a little introduction, a little explanation on the back of the album cover there, along with the song listings and the credits and all that. That's how it was done back in the day. And he described that album as kind of like a happy show feel. They wanted to put it where you're hoping your group does well and the other performers do a good performance and everybody's on good terms and happy-go-lucky, and that's considered a happy show. And he wanted to bring that happy show feel to this album. And ironically enough, I felt that vibe when I was listening to it again years later. Because the first time I heard it was back in my childhood with my dad. He would play all this stuff like Count Basie, Glenn Miller, all that stuff as I mentioned. A couple
Right.
others that I can't remember. The big record labels at that time was Columbia Records, Mercury Records, all these other labels like Halo,
RCA.
RCA, correct, RCA Victor as it was called at that time, yeah.
Right.
And they had some real good ones there, real good ones. I mean, and this
Well,
was a rock and roll. Go ahead.
there was several different genres back then.
Yeah,
One of the big ones was ragtime.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the
Uh,
movie had the same name.
yeah, and one of the ones that was big in that was Scott Joplin, which you're
Yes,
probably familiar with if you've heard
yes, I
Maple
have
Leaf
heard of
Rag.
them. Yes, I have.
He did Maple Leaf Rag,
Yes. Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
and then basically I don't know what they call some of the others, but the crooners hit. Well, the reason they called them the crooners was some of the early way they did records was they used kind of like a megaphone to do the acoustical recordings.
I see.
You know,
Yeah.
the Al Jolson and Billy Murray, that sort of things.
Yes.
And that then the electronics came around,
Hmm.
and because of that, they could do a softer kind of thing, and that's what made a guy like Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, those guys good
I
because they
see.
could do it like a little softer and a little more. Well, I think the term's intimate, and they didn't have to shout into a megaphone to sing.
Yeah,
Or
true. Yeah, technology back then was way, way primitive back then. You know, they didn't have any samplers, they didn't have any drum machines. Everything had to be recorded, done by hand. You know, whether it's a sound effect or a certain drum beats in that, or there was nothing like that. Yeah, if any of these top-notch record producers or dubstep artists like Skrillex or Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were to step back in time in that area into one of those studios, they would have a fit trying to figure out how to work this, how to work that. Oh, where's this device? Where's this recording process? Where's the echo
They'd
out
have
here?
no idea.
They would be lost for shizzle. They would be in
But
big ass trouble, man.
yeah, and of course there was Artie Shaw and Benny Goodman's big bands.
Yes, you know, got to
Eh,
give it out to Benny Goodman as well, and also that period, the great comedy at that period, Abbott and Costello, the Three
Yep,
Stooges, my personal favorite, and of course Laurel and
Laurel and
Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah, movie, and also keep in mind, there was actually Batman movies back then.
Yes, and a lot of times they were serials.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, had a lot of series, a lot of TV shows like the original Flash Gordon from that period. Me and my dad used to watch that every Saturday night when it was on I guess it was a public station, for I understand, the late night Saturday night. At that time, I was hooked on anything science fiction thanks to the first Star Wars. And we would just, me and my dad be watching that, and I remember imagining to myself, what if Emperor Ming the Merciless, the arch nemesis of Flash Gordon, were to get in a lightsaber fight with Darth Vader?
Yeah, yeah, you kind of want to put some of them together to see what happens.
Yeah,
I know, but there were a lot of serials back then because that was a pretty popular form
it
of.
was, yeah.
There were a lot of them. I mean, they had Superman serials, Batman serials, as you mentioned, Dick
Yes.
Tracy.
Dick Tracy,
Uh,
yeah. One of the most, probably it's one of the most underrated, comic strips and characters from that era. We don't really hear much of that. The only time we heard of that was when Warren Beatty tried to make that into the next Batman after Tim Burton's first Batman of a year before, but sadly it didn't work out.
no, but I know another genre that developed during this time was jazz.
Yep.
And that's, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Thelonious Monk,
Yes.
people of that nature.
Dave
Miles
Brubeck.
Davis.
Yep.
Yeah, Miles Davis. And I don't know if Louis Armstrong, I don't think he was jazz. I think he was more, I know, of course, everybody's heard Hello Dolly.
Oh yeah.
And the big one was Wonderful World. And to me, that
Oh
song,
yeah. That's probably his most iconic tune that there. Thanks to that movie Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams in 1987.
well, and the thing about that song is anytime you write a piece of music that evokes emotions, you've been successful. And he was successful with that song because your emotions get evoked with that song.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
And you're gonna react.
Yeah, that's true. And it's there was this program that used to come on weeknights on a soft rock station, and it was called Pillow Talk. And the host of the show, Alan Allman, rest in peace, he would often play that song a lot of times along with other stuff like Baby Come Back by Player or
Oh yeah,
Sinead O'Connor's that one song that she did. What was that called? Dan gonna know. Nothing Compares to You, the song that Prince wrote a couple
right.
years earlier. They would play all the love songs, and of course, What a Wonderful World would be definitely included on that list. Of course, later on, Kenny G would do his own version featuring the vocal tracks from Louis Armstrong on that particular version of his.
Yeah,
You know,
but that's a great song.
it was kind of ironic that 4 days later, after his birthday, he would pass away, if I was correct.
That could be correct. I don't know.
Now, I remember hearing about that when I was wee teenager around that period who's celebrating their birthday here and there on some radio show. It's kind of you wonder one of those times you wonder how things were back then,
Oh
how
yeah.
things were great because when you look at it, things were like things were different than to what they are nowadays. Back then, men dressed in like men, the suits, the ties, the shoes, the coats there, the fedora hats. Nowadays, big kids all these days wear all these crazy kind of clothing here, trying to impress some people there, but they're not really doing it. If some of these
No.
kids if some of these kids were to try that kind of stuff there back in that period, they'd probably be burned at the stake, I would say. And they were not tolerate none of this so whiny, pissy, crying all the time, so sensitive kind of stuff, snowflake and mentality. Not, if they were to try that, they would get the hell knocked out of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, some of the female artists during this era were, and there were a lot of them.
and there were.
There were the Andrews sisters,
Yes,
the
Judy
McGuire sisters,
Judy
Judy
Garland.
Garland,
Yes, Ella Fitzgerald.
Billie Holiday.
Yes, remember who I remember Diana Ross portrayed in the movie Lady Sings the Blues with Richard Pryor
Yeah.
as one of the co-hosts there.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah.
And I had a name, K-Star, Doris Day.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, there were a lot of good female artists back then.
I know. Real good artists. And what's kind of ironically is that, it's, this, like I said, a lot of these performers would last throughout the years. I think Doris Day ended up having a talk show of her own. And if I remember, she was romantically involved with Burt Reynolds. I remember hearing about that a few times. I want to know if that was ever true.
I pretty much heard the same thing. It's probably true.
No.
I mean, a lot of them back then did that kind of thing.
Yeah. And also keep in mind there were drugs involved back in that period. And people think, oh, the 1930s, all they had was just probation and alcohol. Not so. There was a movie called
No, they
Reefer
had the
Madness.
drugs.
Yep, heroin included. I remember Frank Sinatra portrayed a heroin addict in the movie The Man with the Golden Arm, if I'm correct.
Right.
If the title does.
Right.
There was, of course, Reefer Madness, which was a film demonstrated to keep kids away from the marijuana cigarette.
Yeah, and basically it was, well, we'll cover it someday,
Yeah.
was laughable.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it 2 or 3 times, and you watch it and you go like, oh boy, was this the way they were trying to get kids off drugs?
Yeah, that was, that was about it, That's how things were. That was their only Just Say No campaign during that time with those kind of movies.
Yeah, because that wasn't the only one. That's just the most famous ones.
Yep.
Because they actually had several of them that were.
Nowadays, if those people were to be in this time of period where everyone's praising the weed, praising the hemp, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And back then, as I was going to mention, if you sassed your parents off like some of these kids did today, they would get smacked around, definitely.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of these, smart mouth brats out there need to go back to that era and back to the Juby home and see how things were treated back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you think that some of those rules need to be applied today to this generation? Do you think so?
Probably. But a lot of times people are kind of, for lack of a better word, resistant to rules.
Yeah.
You set a rule and they'll try to break it.
Yeah, that's because they
A
got
lot
that
of people.
mentality. Because they got that mentality to figure like, I don't want to follow this. I want to be that. I want to stand out on my own person. I want to stand on my own too. Yup, 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 yup. Yep, they're not realizing that sooner or later down the line, that kind of mentality is going to fuck them up in the long run.
Oh
So a
yeah.
lot of ways you're going to have to convert to society in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to applying for a job, which, by the way, for I understand, was a lot more easier back then.
Right.
Yeah. You just walk in and say, hey, are you hiring right now? Yes. Can you do the job? Yes, I can. You good. You're hired. Let's do this. You know,
Right. That's pretty much the way it went.
something we need to do today that needs to be applied today, especially with the written the write out applications like they used to. Because all this, I have to say, all this online application to me is just driving me nuts. That line, you got to come up with how many of this password, that password, your email, that email, oh here, sorry there, and it just gets to be, it just drives you nuts in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was trying to think where to go from here.
So
Uh,
okay, well, so
Because I didn't really, for lack of a better term, prepare because I have some things going on around
yeah, I
here.
understand that full well, and to be honest with you, the only things I remember, the artists I know from back in the era was the ones I mentioned. If my dad's record collection was in my room right now, I would be going over these and telling you about all of them. Like
Yeah.
all the record labels that existed. I mentioned Columbia. You mentioned RCA Victor and Mercury Records. There was all these other ones like Design Records. There was I think there was one, oh yeah, Imperial Records.
Hmm.
There was Liberty Records. You may remember that. That was a division of Capitol Records later on. It later became a country music label. Garth Brooks recorded for that when during his his heyday.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I ran across some interesting facts about the 40s.
Yeah.
In 1941, Les Paul designed and built the first solid body electric
Ah,
guitar.
yes. We got to give it up to him. That's right. That was one. Well, that was one of the. This man is an icon in the guitar world.
Yes.
Still
Yes, he
today,
is.
yes. This man was able to come up with a multi-tracking. He was able to. There was a program called I forgot the name, but it was in the early '80s. He did a guitar jam with Jeff Beck, Billy Squire, and a couple others. And what he did, he was demonstrated how he was able to do this on stage. He recorded many songs with his wife at the time, Mary Ford, who also was a guitar
Right.
player as well. And I guess there was a couple of female band leaders as well. Let me see if I can look them up. If you, let's,
Okay, and then I'll go ahead and I'll mention in 1942 is when Bing Crosby recorded and released White Christmas,
oh yeah,
which became the best-selling single of all time
yeah.
with estimated sales in excess of 50
And
million
still played.
copies.
And you know what? Around the Christmas, around the months of November, December, there that song is still played on because that's when the time the soft rock stations, the adult contemporary stations out there start playing Christmas music non-stop, all the way even after Christmas Day. You know,
Yeah,
and that song is always included no matter what with everything else. That song stands way out more. And
it stands the test of time well.
yeah,
And then again, in 1948, Columbia introduced the 33 and a third RPM LP.
yep,
And in 1949, RCA Victor introduced the 45 RPM record.
oh yeah, you know,
So that's where those came from.
yes. And I'm looking up a thing called it's called thebigsmoke.com. It's like history's forgotten female big band leaders. Um, Let me wait till it comes on the screen here. There we go.
Okay.
And a lot of these female artists have been forgotten throughout the time. But then again, there was so many that didn't really out there. I'm sure there's a lot of male big band leaders out there that wasn't really recognized either. Let's
Right.
see. Let's see here. There was Lil Heron Armstrong and her swing orchestra. They recorded stuff from 1936 to 1940. That's on a compilation there. There's Blanche Calloway and her Joy Boys. Um, there was also a couple others like in Ray Hutton's Melodiers as well. It was just, I understand, a all female big band project there that she had around that time. This was on the videos on 19. I think it's on YouTube here. Yeah, yeah. It's called. It's from 1936. I had the videos on here on this web page here, and
Mm.
also the International Sweethearts of Women. I mean rhythm. I meant to say. My apologies. I said women
Yeah.
instead of rhythm because they both sound alike. The women in jazz, not just the singers. We love Bessie Smith, Sarah Vaughan as well. And of course, we cannot forget Ella Fitzgerald, who with her song "I
Right.
Love Paris," my dad had one of her records as well. He had a lot of good stuff there. A lot of
Well,
good stuff there.
another band leader that I slipped my mind for a minute but came back
Mhm.
are Tommy and
Tommy
Billy
Dorsey.
Dorsey.
Tommy
Tommy
Dorsey.
Dorsey and his brother.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They had a real big thing going on, and then recently mentioned Billy Vaughn. Of
Yes.
course, Billy Vaughn comes more into this era. Well, not this era, but he moves into the 50s and 60s also.
Uh huh. Yeah, definitely.
But those were some good ones.
Ah, nice. That's good there. Definitely. You know, I should probably send this link to my friend in back in Michigan, Wayne, Michigan, who I mentioned earlier. You know, because he'd be very interested in all this. You know, probably looking at all this stuff there. Like I said, he got real big into this from his uncle there. He had a lot of those old records, and he
Right.
just discovered them as a little boy and just fell in love with them right then and there. You know. Often does a lot of performances for a few blues festivals in the Motor City area there. So he has been getting a
Right.
lot of recognition. His name is hard to pronounce like damn hell, but it's like Cretan or Creighton or something like that. If I ever speak to him online, I have to ask him how is this pronounced along with his last name for some dumb reason. I have, like I said, I have problems getting my trying to pronounce words basically there.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it's it is what it is.
yeah.
But that was that was great music at the time. It was just there was a lot of good stuff. And like I said, I'm not as prepared as I have been.
Right, so,
Uh, well, I had dialysis, and when I come home, I had
oh
stuff
wow,
going on that
I
was the
see.
reason, that I was late.
Ah, that's understandable, man.
In fact, we may have to skip tomorrow's thing
I
later
see.
tonight.
Yeah.
I'll need a little time to see what's going on, and then use that as my guide.
Okay, I will. Oh, yeah, I understand. Like I said, I'm going to be busy to all day tomorrow. We got a lot of cleaning to do in this house here. It's been way too long. It's been getting kind of dusty in the garage here and there, and we got to make an appointment tomorrow afternoon, all day tomorrow, to clean the shit out of this joint here.
Well, basically, we can kind of act like it's our holiday.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of like that. It was our first weekend doing our shows, and we're already taking a
It's our Labor
holiday.
Day. Well,
Yeah,
it's Labor Day,
that's right. That's right. I forgot. Next Monday is Labor Day. Holy shit! How
Yeah,
simple.
we'll just take it today and not Monday.
Okay, definitely. Okay.
Well, let's kind of do it
Or
that way, I
tomorrow.
guess,
Yeah,
because
tomorrow.
I've got to see what I've got stuff going on here, which I'll talk about with you later.
Okay,
But
definitely.
basically, we'll go to our format and try to do a nightly show Monday through Friday,
Yes, corrector.
and then kind of Monday is a recap and a preview.
Yes.
Tuesday we'll go over music. I don't know if we'll stay on the 40s or not. We'll talk about that Monday.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, a TV show, and I guess we'll move on to the original series of Star Trek.
Uh huh.
And then Thursday will be back to music, and Friday will that's, I guess, when we'll do Plan 9
Okay. Plan 9 for Outer Space. Definitely.
and take care of that.
All right.
But I think there's stuff going on I need to see. I need to see what's going on, and I'll kind of explain when I talk to you again.
Okay, definitely. I'll be all ears, dude. All right. So I'm thinking of what to do. Should I keep streaming, rejoin the Reels Fuck TV crew, and then keep streaming, or should I just
Well, if you do that, cut this one off.
well, tell you what,
And
tell you what, that's what I'm thinking of doing the same thing here. Definitely, just start up a new stream and simulcast with these guys, with those guys there.
yeah, and we'll just cut this one off and leave it.
All right.
I hesitate to use the word pure, but we'll leave it just the things we're talking about.
All right, definitely. Okay, so we'll probably end this broadcast here, and so I have a talk on Monday and see how things are going with you there.
Okay, and I'm planning on 6 o'clock.
All right, definitely 6 o'clock on Monday. All right, for shizzle.
Okay.
Okay. All right then.
I'll,
Okay, for
I,
my all right for
ahead.
myself and Arknolia Strokelbean, I'll shout out to Dave.